agency, as we see. Mhm. FBI agents have reportedly interviewed multiple witnesses regarding whether Trump, Donald J. Trump, the president, has hidden classified and sensitive government documents at his Trump Tower home and office, or his golf course in uh, Bedminster, New Jersey. Rolling Stones say say that agents, want to Rolling Stones say that agents want to know if the one the one term the full one term president moved documents from his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida to his other properties. Early, the woman whom Herschel Walker paid paid for an abortion told New York Times that the Republican Senate nominee in Georgia, a close friend of Mr. Donald J. Trump, as we see, urging her to have a second abortion. Mr. Walker's campaign also fired his political directors amid the fallout after reporters broke that the Republican senator nominee in Georgia paid for his girlfriend. Who gives a flying crap? You know what I'm saying? Who gives a flying crap? What does that have to do with uh, Trump's news? Live FBI wants to know if Trump hid secret documents in there. What Herschel Walker has to do with all this, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? And we see a whole lot of bullshit news as they twist that, get that shit together, because ain't nobody got time to really sit there with that. So it must have jumped into something else, you know what I'm saying, and August and the 3rd. You know what I'm saying? But we see Trump claims he would beat Washington and Lincoln. He probably would have. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Kanye West say he was threatened over a Paris shirt. You know what I'm saying? Kanye West defends wearing White Lives Matter shirt. He debate he debunked or whatever debunked at debut. I don't know what you're talking about. Debut debuted at Paris Fashion Week Paris Fashion Week during a Thursday appearance on the Tucker Carlson Tonight when he claimed he was threatened over the shirt. Well, if anybody would threaten over some shirt that he wearing, and maybe Kanye West trying to start a trend with it, you know what I'm saying? But to be all lives matter, I want to keep all this talking about because that the whole matter shit, seems to be some kind of driven division amongst the political understanding whether we live in each other's backyard or not, or we're not trying to live in each other's house. No, we trying to live. To me, I don't know about the people in your neighborhood. You can stay where you at. You know what I mean? But I'll make it out. You know what I'm saying? But whatever he's trying to do, but what I'm saying, I think a lot of that, whatever, it should be the PLM, Mr. Kanye West. You know what it stands for. You've heard me say it many times. People lives matter. Mm-hmm. Mayor Eric, Mayor Eric Dumb Q Ball Adams party with celebs before calling state emergency. You know what I'm saying? But New Light loving Mayor Eric was partying past 1 a.m. Friday morning with rapper French Montana and Ja Rule, just hours before they declaring the place an emergency, so on and so on. Well, you know what? He can do whatever he want to do because I don't give a flying crap who he party with or what he's doing. My understanding is that you're doing stuff outside of what you should be doing when it comes to what we see you're doing. So we know that something is going on based on your pandemic garbage. You know what I'm saying? But when we look at it, it seems the same thing. You know what I mean? But unaccompanied minors flown from the border to a small New York town. Never seen anything like it before. Well, the demon Democrats sure should know how they feel, because you were probably the one that was agreeing along with a lot of the stuff, and probably still do. Even when it comes to Kathy Hoxton, she's sitting up there talking about what's she talking about? Uh, 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 what is Kathy Hoxton talking about? Let's see what she's talking about. Because she's another idiot in the book. You know what I'm saying? But she's sitting up there saying, I guess in more ways than one, that the issue should is going to need federal help, say, and so forth. There goes a whole bunch of our money again. On top of money going to Thailand, and money going to Ukraine, money going over here, money going to do over there in Iran and Iraq, and money going this way, money going to IBM, money going to this person, money going to that, money going to have to go to the migrants and all of this and that and so forth and so on. Where's the American people money? Why is the American people paying and putting the bill for everything else? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the Latino people who they pull the scheme with, shouldn't get help. That's not what I'm saying. Because, like I said, my father bears a Latino background, ways Dominicano, you know what I'm saying? Primo, you know what I mean? And I could prove that. I'm not just saying that because everybody else want to be something they're not. You know what I'm saying? My father might have been, my grandmother was, a lot, looked like Latino women walking around white, and her husband must have been a black man that was in the Dominican Republic, but I could even have been both. I mean, could have been mixed Portugal and African. You know what I'm saying? But she married a black man, I guess. And that produced my father. And my father didn't go with another, he went with other women of his mother's color and race, but he went with my mother, another black woman, which produced me. You know what I'm saying? So, they call my father Sundown. You know what I mean? Sundown. You know what I mean? So, I bear that too. So it's not no discrimination against helping them, but it's a discrimination against even the common people of New York City who, and the United States as a whole, who money's consistently going every which way but loose except to their pocket. And the demon Democrats, every time they get into office, they do this. Inflation, high prices, burn out your pocket, gas your pockets out, cause all kind of inflation, and saying it was a natural inflation and depression. And then next thing you know, their pockets are loading up while yours is falling off, and all the money's being spent every which way but loose, except to you. So it's not about that. Now she's saying that they're gonna need federal help. Okay, yeah. So there goes. Yeah, okay. Now we have Creep Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? Armageddon talks edge talks edges beyond the boundaries of U.S. intel. You know what I'm saying? Creep Joe Biden's warning that the world is at risk of a nuclear Armageddon was designed to send a unbanished message that no one should underestimate the extraordinary danger if Russia deploys tactical nuclear weapons in its war against Ukraine, administration officials said Friday. Creep Joe Biden, you started this bullshit. Don't tell me a goddamn thing about no damn Russia. This lands solely on your deaths. Just like every other war and every other demon Democrat that went into office did the same thing. If they didn't start it, when they came in, they maintained it. Passing the baton. And President Grim assessments delivers during a demon Democratic fundraiser on Thursday night, rippling around the globe, and appeared to the boundaries, edge beyond the boundaries of his foolishness. Actually, the beyond the boundaries current U.S. intelligence assessment, U.S. Secretary officials continue to say they have no evidence that Vladimir Putin has, imminent, has imminent plans for a nuclear strike. Biden veered into talks about Ukraine at the end of the standing fundraising remarks, saying that Putin was not joking when he talked about the use of tactical nuclear weapons or biological or chemical weapons. Listen to the garbage that these people have as a weapon. Listen to it. Now, he's saying that Putin have tactical nuclear weapons, so does America. He's saying that they have biological or chemical weapons, so does America. So what are we talking about here? So who's pushing who into a war to begin with? This wasn't naturally came out. This came out due to some escalation of some kind of talks or some kind of policy or some kind of trickery based on a policy that would lead to some kind of Armageddon based on who pushed the button, based on the trickery that was put into play in order to aggravate this situation. We have not faced the prospect, the prospect of Armageddon since Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now, if anybody been watching my lives, I said that that's what the creep Joe Biden administration is now trying to make it seem like they want to go through the same and act like he Kennedy and shit, and he going through the Cuban Missile Crisis, and like the Kennedy brothers settled that issue and everything was good to go again. I guess after those so-called people came over, they and did what they did and scared the crap out of both sides. He suggested that the threats from Putin is real because his military is, you might say, significantly underperforming. I just think that both of y'all should stop that bullshit and talk this thing out and agree to something and get back to normality based on any kind of war that's going on. Because it seems like the demon Democrats pushed that war by involving themselves with Zelensky. Now, Mr. Zelensky, you got into office in 2016 around the time of even Trump. So therefore, we know that you was put into play just like another pawn on the chessboard for the deep state. Because you know full well that Trump had put that fire under their tail for the garbage probably that they were doing to our country and this government. And the 200 generals and everybody else was probably looking in on it as well. You know what I'm saying? Lord knows who else. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, if Hillary Clinton had got in there, we all would be right now under martial law, screaming, wailing, and gnashing of teeth. You know what I'm saying? In this country. Because she wouldn't have given two flying crap about your life. She would have put them executive orders. People would have been knocking on your door, and rounded you up. And you know full well what they were going to do to you. Judge won't block January 6th panel subpoena of Arizona GP. How come you subpoenaing every single? Are you going to subpoena every single Republican? We need to subpoena every single demon Democrat and question them on their wars and the different games they play, like putting drugs in our neighborhood. And many other questions we need answers to. You know what I'm saying? And consistently building prisons and then signing these black people into your Luciferian contracts, and they going down the road with you singing skip to the loo, skip to the loo, my darling. You know what I'm saying? And this other bad news, stop for a minute. We have to say, farewell to the great Loretta Lynn, the coal miner's daughter. One of the greatest voice to me of his time back in those days when I was a little kid listening to those, good old boy songs and so forth and so forth. Like I said, they could discriminate all they want, but it's black, white people saying this or that. But to me, music is universal. Once it's made, once it's put out, it's for the ears of the whole world to hear. They might use it and say it's theirs and she's one of theirs and all that racist garbage, but it don't fit in my book. Loretta Lynn was a great singer. She was a very good singer of her time. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful voice. You know what I'm saying? In the southern sound. May she rest in peace. In her times, she did great things. I hope that her whole life was made up of something good in itself, such as the many brothers and sisters we lost to the garbage of this cold madness coming upon our people. Biden slammed socialist Republicans for hypocrisy after they asked for money they voted against. Uh, you did the same thing to Creep Joe Biden.